Miss Love, you ready for an inside joke between just us girls?
Yes.
Boos.
This was too inside. I think I've forgotten this one.
Yeah. And you are the joke. That's the other part of it.
What? Poos?
It's a meme.
All right,
we're
this
making
is what we
a meme.
want. We want to get a photo of you just naked, rose petals everywhere, and we want you lying down like this. We want to zoom into your face and you go, boos.
For free.
Yes. Not even an OnlyFans account. Straight up Instagram.
I'm sold.
You said you wanted more girl followers.
Yeah. How far are you willing to go? And, like, he just caved in.
Wait, when did I say I wanted more girl followers? Straight up propaganda. And Miss Love,
that's
you
what you
shouldn't be the one. I didn't.
That's what you said. You explicitly said that. I think it's tattooed on your arm.
Yeah, more girls.
I've got you're very rude.
All right, can we? Should I explain the game?
All right, fine, but you're going to have to get tattooed on one of your ass cheeks just more, and then girls, and then you can explain.
Why on my ass? Why not on my dick? I don't understand. Are you guys?
Because it's like a curtain. Like, it's just like, these are the two things here, just being like, ooh, sultry.
Wait, if I open my butt cheeks, does it say anything else then?
What, is it going to be on the peri, is it? Like here?
No.
The what?
I only know about that because I use Veet. And they were just like, don't put it there. And I was just like, well, that's a recommendation.
Wait,
isn't
why
it?
can't you put it in your asshole?
You can. I mean, look, you can, but it's not recommended. Okay? It's just like, you can eat MSG for a week, but as Miss Love found out, it's not recommended.
No, you can't. You can't. All right, I'm gonna dig into this game.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is an impressions game. So what I need you guys to do for this is, it's gonna be a best first to 2 points. So all three of us are gonna do an impression of someone that you have recommended on the chat.
I like this.
Our Matt editor is gonna sort of filter them and send us the one. Whoever, and then after we do the impression, we're gonna set up a poll saying who won, Ali, Miss Love, or Jordan. Whoever reaches 2 first wins. The winner doesn't get any prize, but the winner gets to choose who gets the Clive Palmer shirt based on something which I will tell later. And the 2 losers...
Man, I'm glad you didn't have a long time to think about this one. The rules are complicated enough, and he had 30 seconds to think of it.
And the 2 losers get pegged. No, not pegged, sorry. They get whacked in the butt with ping pong rackets.
Nice.
Hard. That's the game. No pegging, no pegging. Don't...
Why does this just edge closer and closer to porn every week?
Because
It's Twitch.
What's your opinion on getting pegged?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So
Wait, we're gonna answer that.
wait, so we gotta wait for those guys to send us people so that we can. Okay, what Okay,
Yeah, what
who
is your
has
opinion
gotten
on it,
pegged?
Ali? Because you do bring up getting pegged a lot.
I think
It's funny. I like the idea that activity has a name.
It's such
getting
Yeah, me
pegged?
too, actually. I do really
It's
like the
such a
idea that it's called
bizarre
pegged.
thing to like.
kind of a funny name too.
Like the other thing that I found out yesterday, I told you guys, airtight. Did you guys know what that shit is? All right, guys, we have our first one. The first impression that all of us have to do.
we do. Wait. So we all do.
We all have to do. Then there'll be a poll.
Weren't you paying attention to Ali's as characteristically very convoluted
All right. Well, let's do it.
rules?
Scissors, paper, rock.
I'm disappointed. No. Dude, why is like... All right, it is Barack Obama is the first one.
All right.
Who goes first?
Ali doesn't do a bad Barack Obama for his standards. So it's still awful.
I'm so happy that it was Obama because he's like, it's still not good. Jordan is right. It's still
Wait a
not good.
sec.
But
we know who's gonna lose this game. Let's just not play the game. Let's just bypass.
No.
wait, but there's going to be 1 winner and 2 losers.
Oh, yep. Gotcha.
All right, I guess I'll start with
It's a
this.
numbers
All right.
game.
And guys, you have to vote. Matt's going to set up a poll after this. So here's my... Bernie. Shut up. Let me just fucking continue. You can't like straight away laugh at it.
I just did.
Bernie, what happened to my socialist friends and all the people that went for me?
Man, how long would this last if this was on Hey Hey It's Saturday?
Well,
What do you reckon?
I'm still in. I'm still.
All right, that was it. That was
All right, so you're the
I never
Red
said I was
Simon.
good at this game, but it's... That was it. That's my impression.
No, I want you to keep going.
Keep going.
But I do want a gong wheeled in here.
Now, I'm going to have to check whether Bill Clinton was indeed the first black president. We're going to have to look at his dancing abilities to see if we can, in fact, call him a brother.
You know what? His pacing isn't bad.
Not bad.
But as usual, the actual impression is bad.
Also, I don't think this point was clear. You're not the judge.
Yeah, no, we're not the judge.
The audience is. If I lose, it'll reflect on the poll. So
This is going to be a
keep
big
your
adjustment
wisdom
period.
to yourself.
All
All
right.
right, Miss Love, you go next.
All right. Okay.
Look at him. I'm not a Christian.
So the pivot to China is something that was something we had to follow through for various reasons, and then we know that Iraq was not a good idea. Iraq was not a good idea, but somewhat of a pivot to our neighbors and friends and other things like that. And Clinton's great. Clinton is the backbone of this nation.
Seems like one of those documentaries on the History Channel that talks about that big
just whack
dust bowl in the US. Huh?
Sorry, I'm just like ready to get whacked already.
on,
That
go
was
on.
fucking good.
Thanks,
that was
man.
really good.
Thanks.
Did you like that?
I thought so.
Well,
Sorry, yeah,
thank
go
you,
on.
thank you. But what
It just, to me, it seemed like if Obama was 90 and he was part of some experiment where he was turned into a bit of a gopher, you know?
Dude, I was like actually very impressed. All right, let's Jordan, your turn.
see if the big man can top it.
You see, there's 2 points that I want to make about this election in Maine. The first one is I think that Debbie Owens is an outstanding candidate. The second is that we've got to do more to get folks back to work because a lot of folks at the moment are hurting, and that's just not how we do things here.
Oh my god, I'm the loser. We don't need to play this game at all. Both of you guys were good. I have my opinion on who was better, but I'm gonna let I don't want to influence the audience because I think I'll vote for me losing too. So Matt, set up that poll.
So we all get one vote each, do we?
No, we don't get a vote. The audience.
I
gets
vote
a
Ali.
To win?
Yeah. Just to give him one.
No,
see,
I don't
see.
think I deserve it a single bit. But we're gonna find out the poll results.
Now?
Wait, so is that it? Do we do it now or do we do other ones?
No, I guess we do another one. So Matt, can we have another one, please, whilst you do the poll results?
Miss Love won with 72%.
Whoa!
Shit.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we need
Second
to
and
know.
third.
Ali second, come on.
Please second.
This game's rigged.
17% Jordan into the 11%.
A distant third.
Man, dude, you are the like
Oh, I feel like when you're in a Stedford and they go like, there was only 3 contestants, but you don't get the bronze because you didn't practice.
MLK has spoken. You lose.
ML.
All right, we have another
do this
one.
to me, My Little Coney.
We have another one.
Yeah, what?
The next one's Gary Orson.
Oh yes.
okay, I don't know how
The
to turn
contest is over. Give Miss Love the prize.
Me?
Yeah.
I think it's going to you, my friend.
But I'm not going to do it first this time. Let's do it reverse. Jordan, you start off.
All right.
Dude, do you know how to fix my flashlight? Yeah,
man.
Because I'm going to do something because this is how I normally fix it. Hey Siri, can you turn off my flashlight, please? Yes.
What an age we live in.
That's some Blade
Idiot
Runner-esque
proof.
shit right there.
All right, Miss Love. Gary Orson. No, sorry, Jordan. Jordan, yeah. Miss.
Hello, everyone. I've been watching the mainstream media recently, and they've been talking, as usual, about this feminazi crap that's going on Q&A. I'm going to break it down.
So the thing is that men just don't get, they get too many jobs in the IT sector.
Maybe that's because they're better at it, you stupid bitch.
I can't follow that.
Shit. All right.
Key is to whatever that effect is that you put on a guitar that makes it sound like. Just think of that.
But that's not
the
his-
way to just communicate.
But just a question before
the way that you communicate in the world is the same way that. Fuck! I can't believe I've forgotten what that movie is. You know the one where that guy with the southern accent goes into space and then like he has to communicate with his daughter? Yeah, Interstellar. That's how you communicate.
What do you mean? What, I have to
Like you just have to sit there and just like pick different tones and then like kind of moves dust around.
Wait, why?
I simultaneously have no idea what you're talking about.
And
I know
know
exactly what you mean.
Exactly, because I didn't communicate it to you in tone.
Yeah. Not enough fuzz pedals. Yeah. No, I get you.
Before Miss Love does his impression, does if that Gary Orson character, he that's his actual voice, right? Or does he put like a software to make it sound different?
No, dude.
Because I thought he was using like a
nasally.
synthesizer or something to like hide his identity. Not true.
No.
Great
It's just
news.
I'm pretty sure it's impossible for him to breathe through his nose.
Yeah.
Shit, sinus problems. Go on.
I gotta get in character here though. AC/DC, Foo Fighters. Can't eat any vegetables. All right, I'm close.
Live in a garage.
This Friendlyjordies character. These Friendlyjordies obviously went to primary school with what's her name? The what's the eco warrior's name? What's her name again? He'll actually tell me. I forgot her name. Greta. Him and Greta sitting in Bondi, eating something, oriental like noodles. I can only assume Friendlyjordies.
What? Hey, do you know what? Very accurate because, as always, I just don't know what the fuck Gary Orson's
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like he just gets lost in the metaphor.
Yeah, I know.
They are the hockey noodles of comedy.
I don't know.
But you have to add this at the end.
Dickhead.
Yeah. I think George got this one, but yeah.
Ali, come on. Show us how it's done. The master of impressions.
It's a hard one. This one's hard. Don't.
Now, watch art unfold.
Postmodern art.
These Friendlyjordies character.
It's not that bad.
These friendly.
Never gets old.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
Oh,
I should've
yeah.
done that.
This Friendlyjordies character,
Yeah, there you go.
he has been talking a lot of rubbish. I tell you, complete rubbish. Climate change is something that's always been happening, but it's not man-made.
Very accurate.
Jordies.
Very
That's
accurate.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I don't mind that. Come on, we all know who should win this.
Because it's the trick.
I
It's the
should've
trick
done
of the
this.
nose.
I
Should have done the block nose.
All right, they're gonna set up a new poll, but
Okay.
I think,
Dickhead.
Yeah, I should have done the block.
well, if
Why
if
don't you fuck off?
I think. Wait, do you actually think I won? Because you guys are just saying that.
No, I thought that was pretty. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Look, in terms of his content, yours was easily the most accurate. It's just this never-ending crusade of just being like,
If you cunts did your research, i.e. watch Paul Murray on Sky News, you'd know that climate change is bullshit, cunts.
that's his whole shit.
You know what's crazy? I've never seen a video of his.
dude,
I don't know what he talks about. I just know he hates Jordan.
You should really watch his cover of.
He's probably watching us right now, just being like,
Is it One by One?
Fuck you.
Yeah, One by One. His cover of One by the Foo Fighters is
Oh yeah, I've seen
Amazing.
that. I've
best
seen
thing
that.
on the net.
well, dude, we
The
almost
one-man
we
band.
definitely got that onto the Triple J's Hottest 100. That got enough votes to go there, and they obviously just discounted.
really?
Rigged.
Well, dude, I think they discounted it because it was a cover.
No, you're allowed to have a cover on.
You are.
Absolutely. And it was made in the last decade.
I can't believe
It passed all the tests.
I can't believe
including votes.
someone on
and I'm not
Triple-
saying that it would have made, it couldn't have taken Kevin Parker off his perch of winning every song in the top 10.
No, justice was served.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
All results are in.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
What's the result?
The winner was Jordan,
Yeah.
66%.
Fair.
No.
Love for that.
Fuck!
This is a whitewash.
Oh, so we've got to do one more then.
5%.
The tiebreaker.
Oh, shit.
Shit, guess who's kind of
Hello.
All My Life was the song. Thank you for whoever corrected me. All My Life, not one by one.
All right,
Can Ali get honorary points? They don't actually count, but he's just on 2 points for having a go.
no, I'm not actually on 0 points, but I just haven't come lost in either of them, which is a good thing.
So
All right, the
who's-
third one is
So it's
who
a
I
moral victory.
Okay, so it's 1-1-0. Is that right?
1-1-0.
No, wait. Did I lose that? I already forgot the result.
Yeah, you're right. 1-1-0. Okay, so the third one is Bob Catter.
Oh, shit.
Miss Love, you've got to start off with that.
All right. Wait, Bob Catter's the Queensland cowboy,
He's
right?
the guy with the hat. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got this.
The man you would vote for if you could.
Yeah, all right.
What do you mean he could? As in if he wasn't sleeping that day.
But dude, I know that like when the next election comes around, he's just going to hear that like, and the election has been called for September of 17th. Mislav is just going to go into his car, just turn on Country Hits FM, hear that I hear the grey moon rising, and start driving up to North Queensland.
Yeah.
It's time to do my part.
All right. I gotta do him. All right, I can do this. No, wait, hold on.
No, that's
Yeah. No, I have absolutely no problem with the gays and what they're doing. I mean, you shouldn't be suggesting to me that in Parliament I'm going to be, stretching myself all the way down from the north swamps of Townsville, to get down to Canberra. No, not at all. It's not a problem. It's not a problem
not
at all.
fair. This shouldn't have been the tiebreaker because he lives with Bob Catter. That's his housemate.
So this isn't the issue that I'm talking about. It's not a problem with the gays. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about how the crocodiles are coming in and tearing people out of their homes. I'm having a sausage sizzle with my daughter and a croc comes in and takes her. My daughter's dead now. Why isn't that number one in the policy straight down to not nationalising our power grid?
He's talking sense, Ali.
He was. No, I was agreeing with the policy. But I think that was a. All right. Well, let's the audience decide. But you have to go next now.
I mean, really, Tony, you got to listen to this, all right? No, it's very serious, Tony. Hold on, I'll let you speak and finish your point, right? But there's a lot of people in North Queensland that are struggling at the moment, all right? There is not enough cowboy hats for everyone there. I've seen babies walking around, and this is real fair dinkum stuff here, Tony. They're walking around, and they're sharing hats. How do you even do that? It's for one person, for Christ's sakes. And this bloody government won't get off their ass. This is why I got out of the Nationals. They would not accept that we have to nationalise cowboy hats.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it, but the audience has made a request that they want it to be best of three, or like the first of three instead of two.
It's a good game.
They're liking
look,
it.
It should just. Can we all just accept that the guy from Police Academy that could like do a helicopter fairly well is just the peak of entertainment?
Yeah,
Everything after that was just a slide down.
Yes.
Peak of civilization.
All right. I'm going to do it. I think I've heard the man speak like maybe once in my life.
Weak.
Yeah, just then with Mislav.
Yeah, actually twice. Sorry,
Channeling.
2 times in my life. You and Jordan. The greatest thing about Australia is there would be no other country where people would take a man wearing a cowboy hat seriously. This is why Australia is. I am a
that George W.
legitimate
Bush?
politician.
Cartman. There goes. Getting a point for that. There goes. I didn't know that we were supposed to do it as an impression.
I think he would agree that I was the best.
All right, start voting and we'll do your
Bob.
bonus rapid fire round.
Oh, they want an extra
They
round?
want us to go to best of 3, which is a huge call, Segas. We haven't even gotten to 2 yet.
Yeah.
And they are betting that they're not going to be bored of it. But,
Yeah. There's the audience wants
but
to make
hey,
it
you're
first.
the boss. Hey, actually, no, we're not going to do it unless we get 10 new subs.
Yes. What he said. Cheeky.
Hey, guy that was complaining about buying 10 new subs, you know what to do.
Don't
All
worry
right,
about
10
planting
subs.
trees.
Well, it was 40 last time, so we're definitely punching low this time.
Yeah.
10, please 10.
We got one. Okay, that's 10% of the way.
Do we have a
if you
result?
want to see us still here, basically, I know what the whole gag is here because Slav and I are in on it. If you want to keep laughing at our level, we need another 9 subs.
I didn't pick up on that, but now I'm on board.
But boys,
Hear the
also,
great
well, I'm gonna.
ratchet.
Do we have a result for the Bob Catter one?
Australian investigator, 10 subs. Just give him 10 subs.
10 subs! We're at 11. The
Australian
game continues.
And the
same hippie
Australian
as the other ones?
No.
The poll has ended. Best Bob,
Yep.
Ali.
Oh,
Yes!
Wait, so it's 1-1-1. Dude, they're playing with us.
This is amazing, Ali. You thought that you were the games master, but all of a sudden you didn't realize that you are a contestant now. This is incredible. They're creating the game.
They're doing it. Oh, well, so we've got to do one more, and I've got another
named
name,
you
but
into
I
the
have.
What is that? Yeah. What's that film about cubes? Is it called Cubes?
I don't know that film. The Cube, maybe? What the fuck are you talking about?
Probably.
What film?
I don't know. There was just something where they're just walking around in cubes and then randomly, like a blade would go, "Ting."
I think that was one of your dreams, dude.
Or was it your dream? This is the big question here.
This is the big question.
And am I your dream? I wouldn't be surprised.
Are we in
fucking
a
with me.
simulation? Let's get Joe Rogan.
I know.
The last person that we're supposed to do, there's a problem. I have no clue who this person is.
Oh, wait, so it's picked already?
Yeah.
Go on, who is it?
Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog. Oh, well, I've already won that.
I don't
So
know
just give me the point and
Who
we'll move
who
on.
is it though?
I don't know who that is either.
Werner Herzog is a documentary filmmaker that has a really terrifying German accent.
Oh wait, so let's just do this. We'll just
Improvise?
yeah, improvise. Let's just. This is how I imagine this guy sounds like.
All right.
So Jordan is not getting paddled, essentially. Is what
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, because
Thank you very
I have
much
no
for that.
idea what this guy's. But all right, I'll just. Let's see if we're close. Let's see if I'm close.
If he's close, you have to give us subs.
Fucking hell.
If I'm close, you have to give me.
But the thing is that Mislav will channel it, but go on.
Documentary filmmaking is a more respectable profession than being a comedian. I know this because I have made 20 documentary films and all of them have been duds, but it took me the same amount of effort.
You know what? That has been your most on point impression so far. And he didn't even know what he sounded like.
Yeah, no idea. I just took a random accent and I still don't know. So let
Look,
me.
I've never heard Werner Herzog pissed off, but
Why
I've
is
heard
this-
that he does get angry sometimes like normal humans. But yeah.
All right, should I try? Or?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Now we've got to do this because we've also been asked we could do Tony Robbins instead of that, but it's too late.
Too late.
Too late. Do Werner.
Bullshit. All right, fine. I'll try my best impersonation of a person I've never heard before.
It's going to be on point.
Let me think.
It's not that.
All right. What?
What?
It's not that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that does narrow it down
Okay,
somewhat.
here we go.
Thanks, man.
There was a variety of reasons why I got into filmmaking. One, when my daddy paddled my ass at the age of 4 because the brown crust was not full enough. 2, when my mother paddled my ass another time because I was late to my my job at school. And 3, because I saw The Shining and I thought, wow, that's, I could be an accountant or I could do that. And I think that sounds slightly better than the accounting.
I like this guy. I don't know who he is, but I like him.
No? Yeah.
I like the way he talks.
Like this man that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I like this man. I like him better than anyone in this room, actually.
Ali, you and I can hang out later and talk about if the tax margin should be at 10% or at 9%.
Yeah, but you got to ditch Miss Love.
He's gone.
Speaking his language.
All right, Jordan, you go for it. The winner.
Welcome back to a current affair where we have guest reporter Werner Herzog.
There are several types of doji builders in the southwest of Sydney. The most dodgy of all is the plumber. Here we have a man that has charged 20% more than other plumbers for the same job. Why does he do this? When did he do it? We will never know.
Who is this guy? I like him. I wonder what. All right, well, this non-existent man. We don't know. Apparently, the production guys think that you're on point, so we'll believe that.
Well, I mean, so he has heard the man before.
Yeah.
I assume he'd win.
I wasn't going in blind.
Look, it never helps me, so I don't know.
So I don't. We don't need to do one for that. I just won that outright. Come
No,
on.
but we've got to find out. Is there a poll?
Now we're going to be smart asses and they're going to give it to Ali.
Probably. But this is the problem with the net. Once again, the irony.
This is the
hit us in
problem. Yeah,
arse.
with your
Just
irony.
remember, whoever loses gets pegged by these. The other way around. Sorry.
Yeah, and he means the handle's going in. That's what he means.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it wouldn't be fun without it, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
and he means
I
that.
choose this one, the one that's slightly bigger.
Damn, what the hell?
Yeah, you can't judge it without trying it.
All right, what's the last one that we're doing?
Is there another one?
No, that's it. Shouldn't
Is it?
we? Isn't it? Do we have a poll result yet?
You got the sub, so you got to go first to 3.
Yeah, we have to go first.
all
to
right,
3.
okay,
So
Oh, really?
What are we on now? Because everyone's
wait.
at 1 point.
Oh, wait, so...
No, Jordan's on 2. You just won the Werner.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Wait, who
you.
came last
There
in
is
that? Who
justice
came
in
last
the
in
world.
that?
Miss Love came last in it. With 6 votes.
You guys just don't like me. They just don't like me. I even lost the one that I did well.
All right,
Fuck
okay,
you.
so one more. But we're not doing any more because we've got an entire pod to do. so.
true.
All right, yeah, one more. Just give it to me, all right?
Hour.
Okay, do an impression of Matt, the editor.
Oh,
Our
well,
Matt,
that's
the
easy.
podcast one.
I think we can all just get a collective point on this.
Who's going to start?
Welcome back to PewDiePie's meme reviews. It's PewDiePie. Skip-de-dip. Okay, so these guys talked about feet. So lame. I mean, we talked about it last week. Did these guys have anything else to say? They're not fresh anymore.
Such a niche thing because the only people that know him are the three of us.
Just as a
But just so you know, just so you're in on this, he is PewDiePie. He is the ultimate meme. That is what he does in his spare time.
No, our
is
editor
edit this
is PewDiePie.
podcast.
Like, it actually is him. It's wild. I don't know how he lives
We're going to
in-
get photos of him. Matt, if you're watching, just put it up in the Twitch
Yeah, can
chat
you
or
put up
whatever.
your
Just
profile picture?
Take a photo of yourself right now and prove to the world that you're not.
Well, it's not going to... Yeah, exactly. You got nothing to hide.
No, this is exactly the same as Alex Jones's Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
It's like that uncanny.
Yeah.
And just because you can and get away with it doesn't mean that you put up a picture of PewDiePie. It has to be you. All right, I'll do Matt. Guys, we've got to make sure that you don't say anything that's going to shut the operations down. You have
Not
to,
enough Swedish accent.
You have to, but he's not Swedish.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
All right,
It's just a hologram when we go to Brisbane and meet him. You've
got-
never touched him. You don't know.
You've got to make sure that we do not. My only accent that I can do. You've got to make sure that we don't say anything. You know, like that you can test the limit but to a certain limit. It's called limit for a reason. So
Now you're catching on.
so make sure that you don't say anything too intense because we want them to keep filming us, right? Isn't that what we all want? You agree, right?
Ali actually does have the vibe of Matt.
Yeah, was that the German guy again? Or?
Fuck off. All right, can we move on? We've got so much to cover.
What about mine?
No, but you do yours, and so we can move on. So we can whoop probably me in the ass, and then skip the dip.
Okay, guys, I told you not to put. I have one requirement. One requirement. Don't put. Pull your cocks out on the pod. We're trying to monetize the pod, and we don't want cocks. And oh my god, they pull their cocks out. Why? Why? So lame. So lame. Don't pull your cocks out. We're trying to not do that anymore, dude. And stop talking about my hair, man. It was one day, okay? Anyway, skip-de-dip.
What is that? I'm out of the joke. I'm
don't
out
know
of
what
the
it is.
global joke. What is skip-de-dip?
I mean, I think you just explained it by saying it. You don't need to know. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'm very happy about
Man,
that.
no wonder he's so big.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. If anyone knows in the comments, can you just let us know? Get us in on the joke.
What's the vibe with that?
Yeah.
People want to get winner of the poll wins the whole game.
Yep, that's what we're on to.
So is there a winner?
Shall we
Are we
reach
bypassing
any-
the results of this ridiculous game?
Well, look, the results is so Matt. Can we get a winner? Just one person who won the most or didn't come
Yeah,
last
Matt,
the most?
Matt, in your estimation, you decide who the winner is. Who did the best?
No, the audience decides based on the poll.
No.
No, he'll be biased.
Just give us, Matt. Just give us one winner, all right?
No, it's time to flip the game back on them. I'm sick of being like a little rat in their maze. Can we?
Oh shit!
What?
Ali lost. Miss Love and Jordan tie.
Fair.
The system works.
It is fair.
Miss Love wins chat. Oh, so technically Miss Love wins
Why?
Yes!
because the chat thinks Miss Love wins.
Thank you.
So Jordan, that means Miss Love gets to hit us on the ass with this.
Well, it's only fair.
it is only fair.
But it's got to be hard. It needs to be punishment.
Okay, well, don't give him permission for that, but all right.
Well, you
I
said
think he was
hard.
going to do it naturally.
Do you want to...
broken.
Oh, no, it's not. It'll slot right back in there. Just peg the stand.
Skipped it.
Bare ass, can we do that on Twitch, guys?
No, not bear ass, dude. We don't want to get banned.
Can you do better ass on Twitch? No.
No bare ass.
A very strong no.
Okay.
Let's do this. Wait, have you got a good angle here? We'll go one each. I don't need two.
Well, maybe I'll do the other one.
No.
Why?
He gets to do it. He does the honors.
Audience, what do you think? Can I also hit Jordan? They say yes. They say yes.
All right, ready?
Oh, I'm going first. You like that? Ah! Fuck, it's too hard. Too hard. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Oh.
One more.
My butt hurts.
I did that really hard. I'm sorry. You said do it hard. No, he's had one.
I get to do it too, right?
But hit Ali harder because he lost more than I did.
Oh yeah, technically.
I mean, if that was a tie paddle.
but not
come
as
on.
hard. I'm not a
Like a
celebrity.
guy that. Get him. Hit his soft, supple ass. Ali, just before you get hit, can you say, boos?
Are you ready? Yeah,
Pusses win. Ready? It's good. Stare into the camera, Ali. Take your medicine. Go on.
Boost.
Oh, that sucked. Hit him again.
That was. I got padding, bitches. Gotcha.
No, dude, and he's spanking his own ass. Like he enjoyed it.
I actually, dude.
Well, you guys have a lame supplier. I have
I did it as hard.
That didn't hurt at all, actually.
I hate how Ali's just slowly moving us into. Okay, so the loser now has to peg me.
Dude.
Can that be a thing?
Don't you think that's the really esoteric negative result of being like, ooh, trim and thin? It's like it's like absolutely no disadvantages unless I'm on a podcast and I play some sort of a impressions game and I lose the game and then I get paddled on the arse because of that. In that specific instance, you should be eating more Big Macs.
All right, Miss Love. So,
Sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Miss Love, as a winner,
Not even a joke.
you need to
anymore,
look
it's
through the
fact.
chat
Yep.
and find the most.
Oh shit! I picked the winner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to pick. So just pick anyone based on like a comment that you thought was kind of interesting.
Muse 1820. We simp Miss Love and only Miss Love. I'll take that.
Muse 1820.
Yeah. You've won a shirt.
Congratulations on winning your grand prize. Now make sure that you give your size and
And
details
you
to
think
Matt.
that everybody that listens to this pod hates you, Miss Love. They simp you. That's the highest net
compliment.
comment there is.
All right, we're
done.
gonna
Done.
go on the bathroom break. When we get back, we're gonna move on to our podcast. I guess.
I think it's been like 2 hours. He
right.
won. Muse. Is he even happy?
Muse. All right. Well, bathroom break. We'll be back. with the
Bye.
pod.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, welcome back. Sorry, I was just so immersed in that new Rebel Wilson show. It just looks to die for. We're really top of the pop stuff.
So much comedy gold.
I know all of it.
Jordan-
Penises. Who'd have thought of that? Definitely not us.
Dude, do you think it'll be easy for comics to resist laughter compared to average people?
I would say that they could resist it more.
Yeah.
Because they're
because
trained.
like don't like every comedian just at the end of it stops laughing at jokes and says, "Yeah, that's funny" or "That's not funny." So I think they can do it.
Yeah, because your whole life just goes into that prism of. It just becomes like a mechanical wheel after a while, doesn't it?
I'm really sorry. I have to read this.
What?
A guy called Colopsia wrote, Ali, I want to suck oysters out of your bunghole.
Well, you're in luck. They're already there. So all you got to do is bring your stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was oysters in your bung.
You know what's really funny about that too?
It's a good habitat for them.
Wait. Oh, you're growing oysters in your bunghole.
Yeah.
That's I wasn't expecting
It's
that.
funny, dude.
I thought you were just using it as a storage mechanism.
You know what's good about that too? His name is Colopsia, and the word Colopsia means to see the world as being more beautiful than it actually is.
He's right.
You found a way to make my asshole
better
more beautiful.
world. In a better world, there'd be Red Rock oysters and Ali's bunghole oysters.
Yeah, and also, just for your knowledge, no hemorrhoids, so you're all clear.
Scoop-de-doop.
Yeah,
apparently-
oysters in your anus is so much better.
I recently found out that about 60% of the population of the world has hemorrhoids. Did you know that? That's majority of the
Are
people.
you serious?
Well, does anyone here have hemorrhoids?
Yeah, I don't
So
think.
he does have it.
So yeah,
He's got
so one
All right,
person.
1 in 6.
One in
Stats
six.
don't work then, because it's supposed to be like.
Dude,
more
he's
than
an
one.
editor. It's impossible
yeah, how
not
can
to
you
get
not have
hemorrhoids.
hemorrhoids? Yeah.
How many hours a day do you sit?
Yeah, I don't even know if
23?
you can move from that chair. That's possible.
It's part of the job requirement. Own it.
All right, Jordan, I have another question for
What?
you. Hemorrhoids are fun, but
They are.
did you? What's your
Hemorrhoids are fun. Come on.
What's your take
Start a
on
shirt,
the?
Ali. What?
What's your take on the defense spending? Because that's my area, so I obviously have some opinions. What do
What
you
do you mean that's your area?
Because like that's
When you
all
were
I think
defense
about.
policy analyst.
Yeah, because I was a defense minister.
What?
No, dude, that's
What?
all I give a shit about.
Defense.
International relations, war studies. That's literally
enough.
my entire life.
Well, all right. Guys, you're going to have to help me again do my job for me, just like Jesus Christ did. So can you pull out another miracle? You've already done come up with surplus, Scotty. You've discovered that oysters come out of Ali's ass. Now, we're up to the third. This is the trifecta. Help me help you. I really need to emphasize this point, and I don't know how to properly articulate it because it's like nuclear power, but it's prevalent throughout all of society. So if you go to Bogans and you go to rich North Shore mums, they're all going to have the same opinion. That China's evil and it's coming to invade us. I'm sorry, how many prime ministers of ours did they get rid of? None. How many did the US do? 2, and they're our protectors. Like
Well,
you are
2 that we
coming
know
up
of.
against, huh?
2 that we know of.
That we know of, and you are coming up against 60 years of propaganda. To make this one simple point that is just like it's just been so brainwashed from your Nellies and your who else is big these days?
Young Jeezy.
Aqua.
Yeah.
What? Like all of those, all of these Swedish bands that are cucking for the Americans, right? They're all just aimed at this soft propaganda being constantly pushed into people's minds that America is this global cop that acts in altruistic reasons and is just there to make sure that everybody is having fun in the sun. La 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 la. It's Lionel Hutz imagining a world without lawyers. That's America, right? How do you fight that? To just this one simple point that I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but they're an empire. And on top of being an empire, they're like every other nation on earth, and they act in their own interest.
Nah, dude, there's nothing that you can say. This is what I need to you should be clear on this. There's no salvation here. You will be criticized for this. This is a
No, but I'm not even talking about being criticized. I'm just trying to get that message out. And I think that it takes a lot of deprogramming. It's kind of like the same thing of just being like, Sky News is right-wing, ABC left-wing. No, it takes a lot of deprogramming.
But you can't do that by yourself. Like Chomsky was against the Vietnam War when there were like 2 people that would sit in his audience. And eventually he got to a point where he was filling out arenas to criticize Vietnam War. In fact, that's how he became
because of
big.
him.
That
was because the
time.
press model shifted.
The press model shifted, and it was based on certain political situations. What I'm trying to tell you is, dude, this is a tough fight. I made like my video and I got some hate for it as well. Not nearly as much as you would get, just for the record. But
No.
but the thing is,
Every one of your subscribers has dreads. Let me in for this.
but it does look there's no way that you can convince them. Eventually what's going to happen is, because this is just the beginning, we're now spending more and more money. This is going to get worse. Next year the defense spending will increase, and the year after that it'll increase. As China like gathers up its own bases around us, they set up ports. The US is going to pressurize us again to buy more of their shit, and eventually there'll be a point where either we are so close to a war that there's a big lobby in Australia that's going to be like, you know what, not the best idea. Let's see what Jordan Shanks was talking about, and then eventually they'll start sharing your shit. Or we get to a point where, like, after the war, you just redeem yourself or something. There's nothing you can do at this point. The vested powers are way bigger than you, that you're going to be able to change the narrative of this thing.
Well, this is the other thing that I want to
just
get into
speak
people's
truth.
minds, is just that this goes well beyond who's in power. This is not a domestic issue at all. This is not a decision that Scott Morrison has come to. I think he's so stupid that he thinks he came to this decision, but this is just the US empire saying, help us get out of our economic downturn by buying our tanks that the guy, like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando, would have been like, yeah, state of the art, you know, like they are old military hardware that they are pushing onto us and forcing us to go into intergenerational debt for a tiny uptick in the stock market in the US to go boop.
Yeah. And how come the conflict of rules interests don't apply? So on the other hand, you've got the US, which keeps pressurizing our political establishment to be more assertive towards China. And then they say, by the way, the way you do that is buy all of this expensive shit whilst the whole world is going
Overpriced.
through a recession.
Very overpriced.
And also from us. There's no way you can buy it from other people. Like the answer to all of your problems is the shit that I'm selling you. That's a little... I don't know. Do you see like a problem over here?
No.
There's no problem whatsoever. Fair enough. But
But
this
that is amazing that Scott Morrison would be sitting there and just be like, no, I don't, actually. I don't.
But just so like the audience knows, and this is again my view on it, what you're signing up for is an eventual Mexican standoff.
Well, it's already there.
It's already there, but we're gonna reach a point
with
where
China
like
and
the US.
America.
with China, the US.
Well, and also every one of its allies that it's dragging into.
Yeah. So if you look at like all of these potential military bases that both the powers are gonna be using. So look, here's the thing: we kind of already know what the next World War parties are. We don't know if it's gonna happen 100%, but what the representation of that World War is gonna look like is something like this. You'll have the US obviously on one side with its allied powers. We're going to be the front force on this because this war is going to be fought in Asia Pacific. Our allies are going to be Japan and India. If you look at all of the bases that we're setting up compared to what China... So China is buying up bases in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh. With Pakistan, they have a main ally, which they're helping. So that's, I guess, their version of Italy. And then you have Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which at the moment don't want to necessarily side with it, but China is they're basically giving them a lot of money and hoping eventually the debt's going to be so large that they're going to use their infrastructure. Now, a lot of people use that as criticism. That's something that every growing power does, particularly when you realize that that's the only bases that they will potentially have. There's so many fucking bases that the US already has all over South China Sea. So they're completely surrounded in South China Sea. Then they've used India to use ports near Africa, like in the periphery of the Indian Ocean, near Djibouti and shit. So they can circle around China. So it's like, this is getting serious shit. This is becoming intense. And
this is the story that you will get across the press spectrum. We were looking at it today. Miss Love and I were like writing a script on it, but it's very, very difficult to get right. But essentially, everything from Sky News to the ABC always shows this: China's expansion. And then they show a couple of ships. Okay, I guess, like maybe potentially evidence of expansion. But where are they expanding again? The South China Sea. What right does China have to own its own oceans? That is the message that is getting pumped into the Australian public, and it is so omnipotent that people actually are sitting there and just being like, yeah, their expansion into their fucking backyard is really troubling, right? But they never show all the military bases surrounding China.
Yeah.
And then they wonder, and then they also start saying that like China's ramping up its military expenditure sevenfold. I wonder why.
Yeah, look at their competitor,
what
which
rational
dwarfs them by
country
20
on earth
I mean, that
wouldn't
map
up
is
their
ridiculous.
military expenditure?
That map is crazy. Like
It's amazing, isn't
it's
it?
like all of Japan, some in Australia. It's just the whole. It's
Dude,
just
they've
like
been
what I
surrounded.
said. They are surrounded.
They're completely surrounded. And you are a growing power. And you know what the equivalent is when people say, oh, China is like asserting itself in the South China Sea? That's equivalent to someone saying that Australia is being assertive in Papua New Guinea. It's our backyard. Yes, we are. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not. What I'm
Yeah,
trying to
and
say
also,
is like,
let's
it's
just
our
emphasize
sphere of
this
influence.
point. We're Australia. They're China.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're a nation
They're
of
the
24
biggest
million.
economy on earth now, I think, after COVID.
Well,
They
they're
beat the
about
US
to
in the
be
GDP.
but they're also more than 1 billion people. It's a traditional great power. Like, it's only a matter of time. Wasn't it Napoleon who said that China is the sleeping beast that when it wakes up, people are going to be...
Probably.
He was talking about this. He was talking about now. Because China is not a small country. It's always been the big influence in this area. We didn't exist. There were indigenous populations in Australia, so we didn't come into contact with them heaps. But this was their area. Like, even... Korea, Japan, which are now big countries in their own right, came under the Chinese influence historically. They had their own nationalism that they tried to... But also, the other thing is they didn't fight that many wars. Not nearly the amount of wars that we fought in Europe.
Yeah, because
we constantly kept fighting.
I feel like the white European Anglo tradition is like, you know, run at each other with muskets, which the modern equivalent is what's happening now, like war. I mean, why does America love war so much? Like that's their empire's, you know.
Because they're a UFC fighter. Of course, they're obviously. That's what they do.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and like that is the US's policy. Like, you could say it's in their blood, but I mean, it's definitely
It's not in their blood. Sorry, I agree with you. It's not in their blood, but their
Not
entire
justified.
economy is based on it. But anyways, yeah. So,
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
it's,
But in fact, I would even say that their economy is based on that because it is in their blood. It's like the same idea that some African tribes don't have a word for war, and so they've never had a war before. But I think that there is a grand military tradition in glorifying
Europe, of
glorifying guns.
England. It's the same. Like, I mean, even their civil war. I mean, like all.
No, but don't you think England just glorifies just being like, we've had 7 King Henrys, you know, like it's,
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, look, it doesn't matter. Irrelevant of that. That is how they are.
But the other thing that I was just like giving you an alternative view, like after the Second World War, in literally a matter of years, a few years, we realized that the world is divided into two: the Soviet Union and the U.S. Or the free world, as they called it. And these were the two
But
blocks.
don't you think that
And
was
there
just but even that is an illusion that has just been fed into the West. It was never that even.
Well, it
The
was
Soviet Union was just like, it kind of stood. You know what the Soviet Union was? It was just unions now. It's just this like boogeyman that sits around just being like, oh, the unions are coming.
Yeah.
That was the Soviet Union.
and they
It's like had
used-
as much power as the ACTU.
Yeah, and clearly because they eventually just collapsed on themselves.
Exactly.
But the other thing that I think we should look at is that even then there was the mass hysteria where people thought that we're going to be invaded by communists, that it's our culture is different to theirs, all of that, blah blah. As a consequence, we kept investing a shit ton of money into our armies.
It wasn't as a consequence, though.
The U.S. did. But anyways, the net result of that was that we kept making these arms, these thousands and thousands of nukes that everyone thought were going to get blown off.
Is the West to blame for that?
Well, both are, but like eventually, the Soviet Union collapsed, and now we don't know what to do with all of these nukes.
Yeah.
They still exist. We're pretending they don't exist anymore.
And
Literally, they will pay you the same amount of money to somehow take those nukes and throw it into Mars or something, because neither the US or the Soviet Union knows what to do with all of this shit. Imagine the amount of people that we could have brought out of poverty
I know.
from all of that. Now we have to pay money to get rid of it.
Well, to give you an example, just in Australia, them announcing this $270 billion hike in military expenditure after COVID, when we went into COVID with the weakest economy we have had since World War II. They're saying that that this was all the Liberals' line as soon as they got in, we can't afford Gonski. That is something that would, more than anything, help Australia get out of the current predicament that we're in if we just really invest in education. That is this nation's strong point, particularly if you're trying to deter warfare. How much better is that if you just have the elites of China having all of their kids here? They're not going to want to nuke that. There's all these upshots to it. That was $30 billion.
But
Over 6 years. This is $270 billion in extra expenditure after the military budget had been doubled in the last 10 years anyway. We're up to $570 billion over the next 10 years. This is an unprecedented amount of money that is being spent in it.
And
not in terms of GDP, but in terms of the lump sum of what you could be spending.
But the thing is, this is only going to grow. It's not like this is a one-time payment. This isn't like a fucking COVID bonus prize. This is it's going to keep growing. And any insurance analyst will tell you that there's a strong likelihood that we will never use this shit.
Yeah.
It will just rot.
I have a sneaking suspicion that we'll never need, 1 million Jeeps to refilm the A-Team. That we're not going to be using Jeeps from the 80s.
Mad Max,
Mad
though.
Max, yeah,
That is
true.
an option.
Yeah, all right. Come on, squeeze one out before you die.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How much power exactly does the military-industrial complex have in the States? Because Trump...
It's their mining industry.
I understand that, but look, I did find out, the hard way that Trump lied to me, and he's very naughty. Having said that,
It's very rude to me.
he was very rude to me. But having said that, he ran on an anti-interventionist, populist campaign. Let's pull out of Syria. Let's pull out of Afghanistan. Let's pull everyone out of all these fucking ridiculous
Quagmires.
these bullshit wars that they're in. So obviously that doesn't seem to be the case with China.
How do I explain this to you? He is an opportunist. So this election, I can already tell you that he is going to make a big issue of China because he knows that is the only thing that he can make Joe Biden look weak on.
Yeah.
Because he's got nothing else.
Yeah.
He fucked up the economy. COVID situation has been. He's got nothing that he can blacklight. So the only thing that he has is the boogeyman of China, and he is using that to influence people like us, who are literally succumbing to it.
Yeah, I get
a lot of it is based on us giving them more money for their weapons. A lot of it based on literally the fact that it's going to help Trump's campaign.
Yeah, so but does the whole population of America have the memory capacity of a goldfish? You can't say you're going to be anti-interventionist and then line.
Nah, you got to scare them enough. Everyone listening over here, let's say 40% of the people listening here agree with us, right? They think that war is bad. I bet you they can be scared enough to agree with it. Wars are there's a thing about us. There's a little sacrificial thing within us where if we tell someone that, this for our honor, for our way of life, you have to agree to killing some random people, they'll agree to it. Not because they're bad people.
No, I get that, but do you think ideologically Trump ever even believed that shit of being we're pulling out of all
Yes,
wars?
no, I genuinely believe that he did because he's been talking about it for the last 30
So how
years.
can he just flip on a dime?
Because it's a figurehead position. It's the Queen of England for America.
But
is
that's
the
what I'm
president.
asking. I'm asking what is the power of the military-industrial complex?
Military-industrial complex is the invisible government that JFK was talking about. That's the one
What?
that calls the
Really?
shots.
Is that
It's
what
like
he
the
was-
mining industry here.
Is that what he was talking about? It was
Scott
there are
Morrison
secret
is
hands.
just a pretty face to the mining industry,
woof.
right? And the other the even bigger game at play here is the US. And that's the whole thing of just like why we're spending it now. Think about it. The US military and industrial complex is so powerful that they are dictating the policy of us on the other side of the planet.
So
they want
basically-
us to offload their old military
But okay,
equipment,
just
so they're putting us into generation-inducing debt, right? Like intergenerational debt. That's how much power they have.
And this
And then and with this stick, that because I honestly believe that the Labor Party would do exactly the same thing, and this is why I don't blame Liberal or Labor for this problem, because I understand that it's way too big. With the stick, that if you don't, they will remove the government. That's what they did to Gough Whitlam.
But that
That's
works
what they
fine.
did to
Remove
Kevin Rudd.
Scotty. What's wrong with that?
Because he's just a
but
little
Scotty's-
cocksucker that's just going to sit there and be like, whatever you say. But he's, I think, honestly, I think he's so stupid because this is the whole thing. It's so convoluted and powerful. Like the fact that Chris Pine went over to, I can't remember, YE or whatever it's called, one of the biggest weapons manufacturers as soon as he left the portfolio of defense minister. It's that revolving doors thing of they now have that connection into the government directly. And so they're just talking to Chris Pine who says, oh, yeah, you really need to ramp up your submarines and all
Who
that
works
kind of
for
stuff.
EY, was it? EY?
Something like
Some-
that. YD, the clothing brand. One. The point is,
just to like, yeah.
Ooh.
But I,
Three-quarter pan to the back.
yeah, you know that he'd love that as
if
well.
you want an
Ooh,
answer
nautical.
of like what a guy who passionately believes anti-China rhetoric, like someone like Steve Bannon, right? He's very hawkish on China, but
yeah, he
I don't think he is. But he's not disingenuous. So I'm just gonna give you what their perspective is.
I know what it is.
Well, what is it?
They want war. They love it. They love war.
No,
Steve
they don't.
Bannon loves
Nobody
war.
so they don't necessarily just want war for the sake of war. Their argument is, just so people like know what their perspective is. So their argument is like after the Second World War, the U.S. was a hegemon, and we guaranteed security, naval security, to the entire world, including South China Sea. So the way Japanese economy is functioning, or the way the Korean economy is functioning, or all of these countries, Taiwan, whatever it may be, is based on
basically
the
three countries
what
that
they
they
call
benefited.
the rules-based order, which essentially means our rules. So whatever maritime trade that happens between Korea, Australia, there's a lot of American involvement in it. Just the basic fact, one of the basic facts is like their navy is securing this entire thing. Secondly, there are companies that are involved that take money for this kind of shit. And we are willing to pay, like let's say the Korea and Australia are willing to pay America their fair share but like we're willing to give them a cut because we think that their presence is necessary for this trade to happen. China was so weak that they weren't able to guarantee any sort of security. They are now reaching a point where they're like, hold on a minute. Can I also have some say in the way this global structure is functioning? And by the way, just so you guys know,
you
I
think
don't
when they
like the
achieved a
fact that
bigger
like
u-
there's a million fucking military bases around us right now. It's called the South China Sea for a reason.
I understand,
Our stake needs to be taken into control. America's like, okay, fine, but you play by our rules. And China's reaching that point where like, look, in my backyard, I'm not going to play by your rules. That's the conflict. The U.S. there's a lot of people saying that, look, whatever they say.
So weird. Like that's all that. Like World War III will be a result of the US's ego. It's just exactly what Paul Keating was saying. It was just like, just accept it. You're not the superpower anymore. Your empire is crumbling. Just become like the France of Europe, right? Like just become a regional power. Assert your dominance over Mexico to make yourself feel big. But like, you can't expect to contain an economy that is bigger than yours.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
But you know what? I would even go a step further. I bet like any reasonable Chinese, even if they're part of the Communist Party, will say, don't even worry about just Mexico. You get the entire Americas. You also get Europe. But listen, I get to say what I feel about Taiwan, which is literally next to me. That's
like,
what they're
it's
asking for.
completely
They're not
fair.
asking for Hawaii.
Like, think about it if it was
And then, like,
flipped.
always, like, you know exactly what the argument would be. I bet you if we check Twitch, and we will in a second, because I just want to know what everybody's opinions are. But I bet you if you check Twitch, they're going to say the same thing. It's like, yeah, first it's Taiwan. What next?
Check. Che.
It'll be the same thing as the gay marriage thing. It's just like, then they'll be marrying dogs. Like, there's no
Well.
historical precedent for it. There's no policy precedent for it. The China is very interested in influence within its region in terms of military influence. Fair enough. But in terms of its global empire, it's built off of building things.
Yeah.
The US's empire is built off of bombing things.
True.
Which one would you prefer? Like, most of the infrastructure that is getting built in the third world is a result of China's like evil empire coming up and saying like, here you go, here's a highway. Oh, you can't pay us. That's okay. We'll forgive your debt anyway, because it just expands their economy regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the thing that like a lot of people don't know is that China also has their version of military industrial complex. It's called the infrastructure industrial complex, where their companies literally need to keep building shit. They've run out of things to build in China. So they just like the US,
And you don't want
you
don't want their influence here. Fuck, they could build WestConnex better than we could. You know?
Yeah, but also like the thing about like the debt traps and like
annoying,
taking over ports of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and shit for military purposes is not necessarily wrong, but they're doing that because they kind of don't have any option. Just think of yourself, just literally for a second, put yourself in the position of a Chinese official. You'll quickly realize that all of your trade is coming through one route. All of your energy is coming through that same route. That route is plagued with U.S. Military bases, and they keep threatening you. As a rational human being in that situation, you would say, we need to diversify this. What do we need to diversify it? We kind of need a port in Sri Lanka so that we can get military oil from there. We can get it through Pakistan. We can take a north route. These are all sensible things if you just think of it from their perspective.
I know. It's just like this insane thing that is like really baffling. The policymakers in the US don't understand this. This is how heavy the indoctrination is there. They don't seem to understand that if you are being combative to a country, they're going to push back. This it seems like it seems like no one in US history, no administration since World War II has understood that simple concept. It's the same thing when you go to North Korea. It's the same thing when you go to China, when you go to Pakistan, all of these countries. It's like, look, Korea is the best example because Korea has one government there that when they're interacting with North Korea, they start building infrastructure along the North Korean border. And as soon as that happens, tension starts to alleviate, right? As soon as the other government gets in and starts doing military practices along the border and sanctioning the US to do test strikes around it and stuff like that, North Korea ramps up again.
Right.
It's like, dude, it's not like this is like a let's see what happens. This is what has happened in every single conflict that the US has been involved in.
Yeah. Like I was just thinking, in hindsight, look, I understand how COVID has fucked the entire world. I also understand how it originated in China. But what I don't understand is how, look, this is not the first pandemic, and believe it or not, it's not going to be the last one.
No, of
There's going to
course
be
not.
more. That's going to come. Maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in our lifetime, who knows? And it could maybe be from China, but it could very well be from somewhere else. But instead of like using this opportunity to just being like, okay, how do we deal with pandemics? How do we make sure next time something like this happens?
It's a good way to come together.
But you know what we
Seems like
did?
a good way to come together.
What we did, we pressed on the United Nations by pressing, like the US asked us to do it. We were the initial countries that said there needs to be an investigation into China over COVID because it was developed in their lab. Maybe it was developed in their lab. But do you think it's good for you to do this?
Yeah.
Do you think it's good poking the bear? And is it going to solve COVID?
Like, the fact that the press is constantly
think
touting how much of an economic genius Scott Morrison is for constantly chastising China, and also just, if anything, like at least John Howard was playing the thing of just like, I like you both.
Yeah.
But Scott Morrison seems to be getting really hawkish against China, our best trading partner, after we're supposed to be recovering from COVID. And what did they do? They started putting up sanctions and tariffs against us. He's doing everything you could possibly do wrong in a recovery.
That's a shit situation to be in, because we also know that America is losing its economic power, and Asia, particularly China,
so obvious.
is
It's a
gaining
country in
So
decline. Look at it.
We're literally shooting ourselves in the foot. I'm not saying, look, by no means does that mean we're saying we should side with China. Our entire thing should be like,
What's in our interest?
What's
How
in
about we
our
think
interest?
that?
And you know what's in our interest? I think this might be a crazy statement. I think we need to be neutral. I think, like, during the Cold War, India was neutral.
not
Indonesia
crazy.
was
It's not a-
neutral.
it's not a crazy statement.
We recognize we're like, dude,
It's sensible. That's a sensible statement.
Switzerland has survived the fucking world wars by
Yeah,
staying neutral. You know,
exactly,
no one
yeah.
hates them because no one can hate someone that doesn't want to engage in violence. You're like, I don't want to fight you.
And also, we're tucked all the way down here. Like, no one will notice us.
And and my understanding of this is, a lot of people disagree with it, is if we don't poke the bear, literally China is not going to do anything to us. All they're going to want is, don't set up your country as an adversary for us, siding with the US. That's what we want. We don't want to have military bases in Darwin. We don't want to have that. And that's why they say, like, the Chinese influence is getting too much. What else are they supposed to do? Because they would not want to fight with another country. Ideally for China, they would not want to fight with Australia.
Dude, at the very
But
least-
if they have to, they will. And it's not going to be fun. Wait, boys. Sorry, if we're going to move on from this, by the way, I have some groundbreaking story that I'm going to break over here. Miss Love knows this, but we can do that later. Like, literally some... I know exactly why COVID spread in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a juicy goss
Maybe you should start.
that the government isn't letting out.
Yeah, he has skirt.
Put an ad on.
Yeah,
What?
Run
No
Rebel,
more ads.
run Rebel Wilson.
Yeah,
again.
run Rebel Wilson again. It's too spicy.
This is apparently legitimate. I have it from, like, genuine sources. So the way COVID spread in, you know how they said that there was a quarantine breach at the hotel? So this was the
It was
breach.
your friend, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't my friend. But I don't know the guy or anything. But I've heard from sources that the way it happened was there was some chick that just came back from Europe, some Aussie white chick that came back from Europe, and she was doing mandatory quarantine at one of the hotels in Melbourne. The thing is, you get really bored. And when you get bored, the only people that you can talk to are the security guards. So there was some Paki security guard who was outside, and they started fucking. And then right after that,
Jesus.
that security guard went back to the community, and it was during the Eid celebration, so he met a fuckload of cunts. And that's how this entire fucking thing spread.
Jesus. And Pauline Hanson just got her, like, Channel 9 contract cancelled for saying that.
Wait, did she?
Basically.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't
Isn't
know.
that like she was just like, oh, for all we know, this is like she pretty much just said his theory of how it actually happened.
Fuck. Once
And
again,
that's
she's
just like-
spot on.
I know.
But the
every time.
I think that the theory was that that's definitely a big part of it. But initially they were saying
Yeah,
that
I would
there was-
imagine.
there was a super spreader. If there was a super spreader, it's this guy. But they
good is
were
that?
also starting to say, like, it's actually not just one person. It was, I don't know if that's political correctness or whatever.
Who knows?
But the question is that this is what I was thinking, dude. I understand. Like, the guy, it would be hard. It would be a hard decision at that point because neither of them knew that the girl would have COVID. And dude, like, a lust of a Paki dude for some white chick that wants to have sex has no bounds. It is completely boundless. I can tell you that.
I know. You know that guy right now is thinking like, worth it, man.
He not only is he worth it, like, I bet you,
Stoked.
if you put that guy in the same situation, he'd do it
again. Fuck.
dude. And like, what I want to know is, like, how hot was this
Goddamn
girl?
immigrant.
Because the question of, like, how
Man, she was a
hot
backpacker
was.
from Europe, not very.
Oh,
Don't you think? Yeah, exactly.
I thought you said
would
she
think
was
she's
an
really
Aussie.
hot.
Girl.
Yeah. Apparently, she was, like, living somewhere in Europe, and then she came back.
so it was an
yeah,
Aussie.
she was an Aussie, but
Aussie.
Yeah, but the point is backpacker.
Right.
As soon as you say that you're so many rungs down. Don't you think that, like, if
I
Scarlett
don't know if she was a
Johansson was a
backpacker or not.
backpacker, I'd give her like a 6.
6. Still not that bad. No, it is hilarious. And like, like, I'd believe it too, because like when you're saying that, like, the security company was just sort of like, okay, sign a waiver. If you mention this to anyone, you're
that's
going to
gonna
prison.
go down to my sources, so I don't want to get too into it. But
Oh yeah, well
apparently
I'm not revealing his sources. I'm
every
just saying.
security company that is currently doing, like, guarding the quarantine hotels have been asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement where they can't say anything of this sort in public.
Exposed. That's
That is, again, that I can verify. But
you're not gonna. How good is it? We're delivering the news. Don't watch Channel Channel 9. Don't watch ABC. Just watch us. This is the real news.
Some horn dog fucked some chick who was getting bored, and now we all have to go back into lockdown.
It's only
Isn't it
Victoria.
amazing that
It's
you'll
only
only
Victoria.
hear that from Ali and Pauline Hanson? The only ones telling.
The only two people taking some
Yeah, it's
common sense.
keeping it straight.
Yeah, the E thing didn't help. And also,
Well, common sense,
And
right?
like a lot of these guys,
When
like,
has Eid ever helped?
That's right. Damn straight.
ooh, spicy. Dude, you know what I also found out, by the way? You have a huge Muslim following. Well, not huge, but like a sizable.
Really?
Yeah.
4 people.
I keep meeting people. Not meeting people, sorry.
Like
getting them on
actually
Instagram.
Muslim, like as in, or just like SBS Muslim?
Well,
It's
some of
like,
them-
I can go to career out of showing that I'm Muslim.
Both.
I can
But
go.
there's like, I bet you there's I have these Instagram followers, girls that like legitimately are die hard Friendlyjordies fan and also wear the hijab.
Girls and Ali follows them.
I don't want to make this into a thing
No, I do.
where like,
I do as well.
because if I'm going down, you are going down too. Just so
Hey,
you know.
What about all those
Usually a short
comedians I follow?
By the way, every girl that followed
Comedians.
Yeah.
the guy, the 5 guys that came.
It's not 5. It's not 5. It's like very even. Like I'm adding any dude that is like mildly funny.
All I'm gonna say
So
is that
good.
every
It's just a
time,
way to like, dude, I put your head on a giraffe. Followed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so good that Ali is just like, yes, but do you have a push?
that's not true, dude. I'm gonna get okay. Listen, but I'm just this is again true. Every time I am followed by someone of the opposite sex, guess who is also following them every time? It's this guy right here.
Hey.
So
I got a rebuttal.
don't
I got a
know-
rebuttal for that too. I'm only human.
So every time, I don't think I've ever gotten a single girl that's followed me from the podcast that you also don't follow. And not that they follow you follow them too.
Yeah. But there's a slew of young memesters out there with male genitalia that you have cut out.
No, I haven't cut them out if they're
Yeah,
like
you have.
funny and shit. Like that guy, the hippie guy who I gave a shout out to.
My ratio of funny teenagers that I follow is a lot higher than yours, my friend.
Probably. But then like I
I
don't
mean, let's come on, not probably, definitely.
but I'm just saying like
I'm
if
looking
there's-
at your Instagram. In fact, come on, Ali,
You don't have
take
to.
it
You
out.
don't have to defend yourself.
What about
dude.
this? What about this? 20 subs, and we'll look at Ali's follow rate.
Oh no, you don't need to give 20 subs for that. I thought you were gonna say DMs, in which case I was like, no.
Oh,
But
damn. DMs.
actually,
No, Ali, you
What do
gotta
you
own
think
it,
the
man.
ratio is?
I mean, how
of like
can you
girls
have-
to guys on my
Girls to guys that
Instagram?
you're following
Oh,
on
I don't want to
Instagram.
answer that one.
Yeah.
Okay, how about honestly, maybe 35, 65?
Chicks. Chick 65?
Yeah.
Jesus, it's like Dolly Magazine's readership.
Dude, I'm gonna get so many people to unfollow me now. I'm sorry.
No, they're not,
But I
dude.
promise, if you're like funny and even if you have a penis, I'll follow you.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, we should move on.
Don't be like so sure about that. It's just that look, we're really this is the eternal crux of. You are seeing the entire spectrum of the male genome, right? Because like that is the horniest it gets, and that is the least motivated ever. It's like if
Hey,
you
I'm-
were slightly less sexually motivated than Miss Love, you'd be a mattress.
But just so you know, it's
No,
not like
it's
I'm
not.
having sex
No,
with
it's
these
not.
girls or anything.
What?
It's not like I'm having sex with them.
yeah, that would
No.
that would be
but
uncouth.
like, yeah, no. But you are very sexually motivated. Miss Love is motivated by Doritos and complaining about his mum.
Not
It gets
true.
you
I
out
love
of
my
bed in the
mum.
morning.
I mean, yeah, fair.
What gets me out of the
Or,
bed in the morning is being extremely petty. That's another male thing of just being like, oh,
Fix his wagon.
Yeah.
She can do that.
That's your whole career.
I know, like, dude, it's just, I'm an old man just
More
being
subs?
like, yeah,
Goddamn
getting-
Labradors that make.
I'm getting sorry. As we speak, I'm getting more chicks to follow me for some reason. But
more
it's not.
chicks are following.
yes!
They're
Okay,
into
if
it.
you're a woman, go, like, request to follow.
Make it
Marley.
work.
Do it. Do it.
Sorry.
And also, maybe
compliments work.
Also, this as well. If you're a guy, dress in drag, put that as your front display picture. Let's see how many we
con
can
me.
go past Ali. Let's see.
By the way, that actually happened.
Get through him.
That actually happened.
Catfishing,
Some
really?
fucking asshole fan of ours, who is a guy with like an entire thing going on, has a fake picture of some really hot Asian chick. In the early days, he added me, like he started following me, and then I started talking to him, and then like the talk was, and he just kept pretending that he was some chick.
What a legend.
And then
you
I
better
was
have
like,
followed.
dude, like about 5 days in, I was like, I've got a question, man. I've been looking at like your Instagram, and there's no picture. All I see are like skylines and Nissan cars.
got another one?
It looks. Are you a guy? And then his response was like, "Yeah, I am, but please don't stop talking to me."
Wait, so was he like a cross dresser or just like fucking with you?
Just a guy that was pretending to be a hot chick. Like
I think that was his thing.
look, what I think what happened with him
Catfish for a chat.
In his defense,
Chatfished.
Catfished.
in his defense, I don't think he intended on catfishing me, but he just had that picture as a joke, and I was like dumb enough to like fall for it, and then I started like flirting with the guy, and then he was like,
Another
"Dude,
one.
I'm not
They're all
going to
coming.
stop this."
They're coming thick and he's going to be married by the next pod to be married. They're coming.
Whatever, I'm going to switch this over.
Amazing. Well, I don't know. I guess that's mad.
I guess that's a
Keep-
wrap.
Should we smash through a couple of things?
All right,
we're
let's-
actually supposed to do?
we're gonna have all-
We're gonna do the quick five, like a sentence each to finish these.
But one line only answer.
Yeah, one sentence only, and we'll just pick one each. The first one is talk about the Greens. Just give me Keating's quote because that says it all.
The Greens are nothing but a bunch of opportunists and trots hiding behind a gum tree, cooing that they're the Labor Party.
Thank you very much. How through our local community, can we make a difference to voting results and help affect change in the Australia we want?
I'll tell you how you do it. You go
Subscribe
on
to
Boomer
Allsworthy.
Facebook chats and you sit there and then you just go like, guess who put up migration by double? That's right, John Howard.
Damn.
That's how you do it. You go into those, because this is what people don't understand, right? Your mum is on Facebook now. So when people are always saying that, how do you attract, because all they do is just watch Channel 9. No. Yes, they do, but they're also part of those group chats of just being like, Lithgow 2027. It's basically a localised current affair.
Yeah.
You just sit there talking about like, the council said that they were going to repaint this street, and where is it? So you go into those chats and you just start spreading misinformation memes.
I was gonna say just like rock up earlier for the sausage sizzle, but that's way better. How has Dutton avoided contempt of court over visa issuing delays? You know about that?
Good question. Don't know. Next
Yep.
question.
Wait, so how has he avoided contempt of court?
Court over visa issuing delays.
Well, look, so contempt.
Ali,
of-
this isn't pub trivia. You don't have to answer.
No. But like,
Bureaucracy? No, it kind of
I
is,
don't know the
actually.
exact scenario, but like, look, contempt of court is when you don't follow court orders. My guess is that visa issuing is actually at the discretion of Peter Dutton. So even if he refuses to go into court, the court isn't calling him to indict him, but they're asking, I guess, to like. The point is, even if there was a case, I'm
not gonna
95% sure that Peter Dutton's going to win these cases. However, I did recently found out something that was pretty fucked, which should have been the question. Again, some Instagram chick on my thing. She told me she works. Her dad's a lawyer, and she works. But like, it ended up to be like an interesting conversation because her dad was a lawyer, and she was telling me that fuck, these Instagrams are off the hook. It's going crazy. But fuck.
Yeah,
Damn,
now
he's
you're
got
happy.
heaps.
But
See, this is the thing. Every time we ever talk about this and then the cameras go off, he comes up to me and he's just like, dude, stop doing this to me. You're screwing my life over. I'm not screwing it over. I'm helping you.
no, but like
You should
every
be
time I
thanking
go on
me.
an actual date,
Dude, no.
then people assume that like, dude, I don't even get laid. Like it's unfair. It's unfair. That you ruin my actual dating life over this supposed virtual dating life.
Dude, stop
And
denying
that
that you're a
that
tranny.
classic meme troll face as
Wait,
well.
stop denying you're a tranny loving pimp.
Yeah, you do. You love him.
No, go on. We
No,
got
but
blast through
this
some
is like
more.
this
He's
is
just upset that it's not another guy
Tiny.
catfishing.
this
him.
can potentially get Peter Dutton into some all sorts of trouble.
It won't,
So
though.
apparently,
It
a lot
won't.
of people, it might not. But like this is a genuine thing. Visa delay is at the discretion of the minister. That's his entire job. So whatever basis he chooses, comes under his jurisdiction. So I don't think he can get into trouble for that unless he fucks it up massively. But what they can get into trouble is apparently they picked up people that are now incarcerated in one of those detention facilities that were picked up from an island that was technically not part of Australia.
Right.
They picked him up, so you can only incarcerate people that illegally came into your territory.
Yeah.
They picked up people from international waters or another island that comes under someone else's, illegally incarcerated them. That can get you into trouble. Dang. So apparently this girl who's a fan
when
and
did
is
this
maybe
turn into
listening.
Waleed Ali's podcast? What do you think? Refugees, very nitty gritty legal talk.
Hey, look, but I think it's interesting, and like I'm
Name
sure
is
she's
Ali.
listening.
I
to
know
this.
you do, Ali.
You need to like press on this because this could get you into troubles. Because dude, if you're illegally incarcerated, you are most likely eligible
I don't
for
want Peter
compensation.
Dutton out though. He's the soul of the Liberal Party.
No, I don't think he'll go out, but like those people will get paid quite a bit by the government.
Anyway,
if they were illegally
moving on.
incarcerated.
Oz housing market implications in the post-COVID economy. What'll happen in the housing bubble? I assume it'll just
Dude,
get worse.
none of
and
us are
worse.
wearing Tarakash. Why are you asking?
Yeah,
us that?
it's just gonna keep dropping. Would you be in favor of
This is sick. This is that end O'Reilly factor.
It is okay.
It's just- yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pinhead about don't care about
Jake
the
from
bubble.
Wisconsin, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Care about bubbles, then blow them in your bath. Anyway, okay, so would you be in favor of a benevolent AI as our supreme world leader? One answers yes or no.
No, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Very, very, very okay.
You yes or
Dude,
no?
I'd be okay with Google.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
All right,
it
two
has to
against
happen.
one.
You know what? I'd even be cool with the
No.
Terminator robots. We deserve to go.
Yeah, it's true. Predictions about
How am I the only one that's like not okay with a computer running my life?
I don't know. I've seen.
Yeah, that's
Matrix
weird. Actually, I
sometimes.
don't know why that is.
Yeah, I guess I've been pretty close.
Yeah, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
because you know what it's like.
You're already in them. Yeah. Predictions about the job market in the next 20, 50 to 100 years. Just a nice,
yeah,
simple.
okay. Well,
I mean, how do you answer that?
Well, I could. I
Okay,
think.
do it in as short amount of
20,
time as
50
possible.
to 100. Look,
20,
let's
50,
just
100.
say that
20 it drops. 50,
it's the same answer to the question before. A nice robot will be running it.
yeah.
100 years it'll be much.
Look, the population is going to reduce, so there'll be less people looking for jobs. The jobs that will be available will be very few, but that does not necessarily mean, in an ideal scenario, that does not necessarily mean that people that are unemployed are not getting any money. It's that
Yeah.
work is going to be specific, like very specific, and most of the menial shit that most people end up doing on a daily basis is going to be done by machines.
All right, last one, and Jordan will like this because I won't say in case I can't say, but nevertheless. So there's a guy who wrote in, I thought it was kind of interesting. He was like, I'm arguing with my dad over spaghetti at dinner. He's an old restaurant liberal voter, and I want to know how to argue in regards to Kevin Rudd. One, these are his dad's arguments, and he needs a way to push back. One, he pushed his staff too hard and was a slave driver. That's why he was booted out.
Apparently, that's true. I've heard that he's a big.
Dude, I talk to
taskmaster.
Kevin Rudd all the time and his staffers. They love him.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not saying that they don't love him, but apparently he makes his staffers do like incredible amounts of work.
But that's
Well,
not
actually, just today he was just sitting there being like, and then these little shit staffers sitting there saying that they want to get home at 5. I said, well, sorry, mate, you're in fucking politics.
Dude,
You want to get a
exactly.
job.
No,
but that's not why he was-
100%.
But that's not why he was booted out. Wasn't it like the CIA or something?
Yeah, it was. So that's a stupid point. It's just like, okay, so he made his staff work hard for the country. That's your problem.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. So old mate, if you're listening,
And just like if you are in the public sector, you should be working hard. Like it shouldn't be like a given that you get off at 5. In the public service,
Yeah, exactly.
Like I appreciate
Same as
it.
law,
Dude,
same as law.
If I was working for Kevin Rudd and he was the prime minister and I was a staffer, I would assume that my social life is dead, and that's how it should be.
I know. It shouldn't have been like Tony Abbott that was always going over to them just being like, hey, you want a day off? We're going to the bowling alley together to boost morale.
Yeah, no,
Dude, it's not a Hillsong youth group.
exactly,
okay.
exactly.
Second one's pretty redundant. So if your dad says that, basically just yell CIA. And if it's like, that's crazy, be like, you don't know what's happening. You have no idea. Second one, he rushed through policies that resulted in bigger problems, i.e. insulation battery scheme.
Well, that's the answer to that. Like, but basically, look,
One
when
problem.
it comes to pink bat, What was that? That was a problem with private contractors that were cutting costs. All the government was doing was giving money out to people that said that they can do the pink bat gate thing, right? Which is just what happens with all government programs. This is not a thing of rushing. This is just a thing that when you are implementing government policy, you hire people to build the infrastructure,
Wait,
right?
what was this policy?
His policy was to just
Insulate.
insulate houses so that it reduced heating costs, like to reduce carbon emissions.
Dude,
right?
why is that a bad thing? That's
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
backfired.
thing. What happened was just like 3 or 4 people died, I think, as a result of installing this in Pink Bat. This was years ago. And as a result of that, they blamed Labor for it. And I've got a video coming out now very soon about that, actually, which was that the coroner that they were using to talk about all of this stuff was an ex-Murdoch employee that just made this whole narrative up about Pink Bat. If you go and look at the actual legal investigation into it, everything that they're saying into it is just like, there is no scandal here. Can the Murdoch press shut up about this? It is just pure Murdoch propaganda created by a coroner who used to work for the Murdoch press, so he knew how to package the story to act as like this big hit piece on Kevin Rudd.
This is
That's such a stupid point. It's
it
just
is-
like
it is
the
stupid.
guy that saved us from the global financial crisis gave us 30% renewable energy in this country.
Yeah.
Like completely reformed the hospital system. So he saved, probably hundreds of thousands of lives at this point, especially when you include the fact that he came up with the organ bank, which has made the amount of people getting organ surgery in this country double.
Yeah.
Like, think of all the lives that
Hey,
he
that's
saved
not a
there,
good thing.
and you're pissed off about 3 tradies that died due to companies skimming the money, had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, Kevin Rudd was definitely the one choking them. But this just reminds me of that criticism that Obama got from the Republican Party, where they were like, Obama, you're so dumb. His climate strategy is making sure that your tires have enough air in it. Again, like
know about that.
the right always try to do.
That's
Again, it would dramatically reduce fuel
emissions.
costs.
Yeah.
And also,
Like,
you know what else
just
you
doing
say?
that.
You know what else you say to it?
It's not a stupid point.
It does dramatic. I know that for a fact. It does.
Also, you say this to him as well when he just says it like, Pink Batch killed a bunch of tradies. Oh, you give a fuck about tradies, do you? Well, what about the fact that the Liberals reinstalled the ABCC? That's the Australian Building and Construction Commission. That has seen deaths on building sites skyrocket because it bars unions from checking the safety of sites. So obviously, Multiplex is always just going to be like, yeah, what's wrong with wearing thongs on the site? Like they're just going to let everything slide.
style.
And as a result of that, we're talking about an increase of hundreds of deaths on construction sites.
So it's a result of deregulation. Like
It's a result of deregulation. If you really care about tradies, why are you voting for the Liberals? If you want to reduce tradie deaths, you get the Labor Party in because they will get rid of the ABCC.
there you go. Any
One-
other
And the
rapid
difference
fire?
is, sorry, I just have to put this point out as well. They knew that was the result of that because Howard instilled the ABCC, and then Kevin Rudd got rid of it because he actually cares, and that's something that he could do to reduce deaths. And so the Liberals installing it again is willful manslaughter. Kevin Rudd didn't know that companies were just going to figure out a way to kill their apprentices or whatever they're called to save money, right? And as soon as that started happening, they rectified it. What do the Liberals do? Oh, this kills people, but our donors want it. Yeah. They don't care. They don't care.
All right, last one. We're finishing. We've got more of these to be answered on our secret special Up Late pod, but that's only for Patreon members. So sign up to Patreon and sub. Bit of both. Do them both. Today you do the Patreon, and tomorrow you sub. It's a fun game, isn't it?
Yeah, but
all right.
I like that game more than Ali's.
All right.
That's
So
way better than
really
getting
raunchy
spanked.
podcast where we don't give a fuck. Yeah, the up late one is definitely.
And this isn't raunchy. The shit we're saying on
Yeah,
this is our play school version.
Yeah.
So come on.
Just remember, we got spanked on this.
We got spanked on this, and the Patreon only ones is just do it.
I mean, think about this.
You'll
we
enjoy.
wanted to try and advertise the ones that are too hot for the Twitch, so we put it up as a podcast available to the general public. It lasted 40 minutes.
You have to take it
because-
down.
It was
You have to
too
take it
hot.
down.
And if you want to know why it was taken out, ask Miss Love.
Yep, and I won't answer you. Anyway, moving on. This one is for the big population cuck over here. Big Australia and how special economic zones would work here. Apparently, Jindabyne is one.
Yeah, there are some special economic zones, but they're not good enough. The fact that no one knows about it means it didn't work. So, look, this is a very loaded question of what a special
No,
economic
I'll get
zone
into it.
should
This is the
look
last
like.
one. This is the last one.
No, we're
Now we got to
over
go.
time.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
go.
But essentially, short answer, basically make
a
those
minute.
areas, at least for us initial time being, literally tax free. That's the only way you're going to get the fancy of corporations, and eventually we can learn how to like tax them and shit. But anyways,
It's about
Just don't make it
moving
a
out.
special economic zone. Make it a special migrant zone. Use all that military expenditure to herd them in there.
yeah, either way, you can call it whatever you want. I guess people don't like the word special. They don't like special economic zones because
Yeah.
of the Chinese connotation. But dude, like they were successful. We should just learn from like good.
No, just rebrand it as like country mango zone.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
I like that as well, Mislav.
Thanks.
All right,
Yeah,
is that it?
Yeah, that's it. It's
you.
been swell. It's been fun.
Obligatory dance.
I'm so tired. Not today.
Jordan, you do it.
When is he not?
Come on.
Dude, I'm surprised Gladys Berejiklian hasn't killed you yet, you koala. Sit on your ass.
I know I'm next.
Dude, what is up with you?
Dance with it. Pretend it's your dancing partner. It's been swell. It's been fun.